What's going on, family of God, and welcome back to the channel. So we are on day 5 of the Kingdom Marriage Covenant mini-series. This video is going to be called Consecration in the Kingdom Marriage Covenant. And this one is going to be the heartbeat of the covenant, right? Because consecration is very, very important. It's just like fasting when it comes to your Kingdom Marriage Covenant. Consecration is to be set apart before the Lord. Basically, you're setting your entire covenant apart. It's not just being committed to one another, but it's actually being committed to covenant before the Lord, which increases the commitment within each other, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to give you guys 4 different identifiers to know what a consecrated marriage covenant will look like. And we're going to keep this video as short as possible because we still got a few more to go within this series. And we're just going to make sure that everything hits home how it's supposed to. So you guys can take this holy information back to your own covenants and become the blueprints, because God is making us the blueprint, correct? So you can take this back to your covenants and become the blueprint of what it looks like to become a kingdom marriage covenant. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's get it. All right, so consecration in a kingdom marriage covenant. What that means is we are no longer just committed to each other. We are now set apart for God, right? So the world says things like marriage is meant for vacations, vibes, and validation. But in the kingdom, it's about holiness, healing, and heavenly impact. So what does consecration look like in a marriage? Number 1, you fast together, not just feast with each other, right? So what that means is you're going to starve the flesh and strengthen the spirit within the covenant. And this goes hand in hand with not just praying for each other, but also praying through things with each other. So the intimacy, as you can see with all of these different videos that I put out so far within the mini-series, the intimacy is growing within the spirit as a unit. So your unit doesn't take a hit whenever warfare comes, because we've established that Satan is going to send warfare at your guys' covenant. It's inevitably going to happen because he does not like marriage, right? He does not want you to be that blueprint that God is creating. He does not want that to get pushed into the masses. He wants to keep distortion, dysfunction, broken marriages, broken homes. He wants to keep that narrative as something that is normalized. But in the kingdom, we understand that if we stay within the Spirit of God, that is not normal behavior for a kingdom marriage covenant. All right, so fasting together and consecrating together is a necessary duty to keep you guys on point within the Spirit and to keep you guys within covenant. All right, so make sure you guys are doing that. Your intimacy increases when your altars are full. Number 2, you purify your atmospheres. What that means is you don't watch things that are going to invite demons into your home. You don't joke about divorce. You don't normalize dysfunction. And what consecration says is our marriage is not a playground, it's a temple. So let's break that down just a little bit further. Every JK comes with a little bit of truth attached to it, right? So if you continuously joke with your partner about divorce, or if you guys actually get mad and you start threatening your partner with these things, but you actually don't mean it fully within your heart, you could be talking or speaking those things into existence unknowingly. You should never, ever, ever put within the mind or the heart of your wives or your husband that you will leave them, especially when it comes to a kingdom marriage covenant, because we understand that. We already learned throughout this series, this is the last covenant you're going to be in. And you don't even approach this covenant with the heart posture of, I could possibly be breaking up at some point and going to find somebody else. That's not the heart posture we bring into a kingdom marriage covenant. When we bring into the kingdom marriage covenant is, this is my wife or this is my husband until the day God calls me home. So we don't do dysfunction in the kingdom marriage covenant house. Don't bring dysfunction into the house, and you will lessen the chances of Satan coming in with his warfare and it being effective. All right? That is huge. Number 2 is probably going to be the most important step within this particular video. So make sure you guys write that part down. Number 3, you prioritize the presence. What that means is we're not worshiping just on Sundays. It happens in the home on a daily basis. I'm talking about when we wake up, we step into worship. I don't know what kind of routine you guys got going on right now with your personal walks with God, but you should have some point of worship every single day of your life. That's how you stay in covenant correctly when it comes to being on point or on par with the Spirit of God, right? So how much more should you have that within your kingdom marriage covenant?
What?
If you already have it going on within yourself, bring that into your covenant, and then you guys come together and figure out whatever time frame you guys are going to have that worship within your guys' union. But make sure worship is very, very heavily involved in your kingdom marriage covenant. That's going to keep you guys strong within the Spirit of God, and that's going to keep you guys strong within your guys' union. All right, so make sure the presence is prioritized. You protect the Sabbath, you turn off the noise, and you hear God together. So what is the Sabbath? The Sabbath is a day set apart just for the Lord. Typically it was Saturday before. The Roman Catholic Church or whatever the case turned it into Sunday. But that's neither here nor there. That's not what we're talking about in this video. You just get a day and set it apart for the Lord. The Lord isn't going to worry about what day that is anymore because we're not under the law, right? So pick a day that works for both of you guys and set that whole entire day apart for the Lord. And come into communion with each other. Worship the Lord together. Sit in silence together. Let the Lord speak to both of you guys. That's going to strengthen your guys' covenant. It's going to keep you guys very close. And it's going to please the Lord, right? Which is what it's about. We already learned throughout this entire series. The Lord is the author and the finisher of everything. He's in charge of the covenant. So that means he gets a day to where he just gives you guys direction. He pours out his love into you guys, and you guys can just take whatever he gives you and pour it back into the kingdom marriage covenant. All right, so let's keep going. Number 4, you pursue obedience over popularity. So what does that mean? What works for the world will not work in covenant. Consecration is choosing what's holy, even when it's not trending. So the example I have for this particular step, you may see on TikTok, on different social media platforms, different couples that are out being immoral within themselves for money, for views, for likes, and etc. In covenant, we do not exploit our partners for money. We do not exploit our partners for views, for likes, for shares, or for anything that will appeal to the masses but cause dysfunction within the kingdom marriage covenant. One thing that you need to understand, when you are in alignment with the Lord, you do not have to chase anything. It chases you down. So as long as you are pursuing holiness, staying in alignment, staying out of sin, if you fall to anything, repenting and renouncing immediately and getting back into covenant, as long as you are seeking first the kingdom of righteousness, everything else is going to chase you down. So don't ever get out with the mindset of, oh, hey, we're going to make our couple into a social media thing. So that means you got to dress half naked, baby, so we can get this money. That means you got to go pose this type of way and do these type of dances so we can get this bread. Don't ever think that you have to become like the world in order for your covenant to work. All right? This is a kingdom marriage covenant. That means we keep it kingdom. And just know, as long as you honor God, he is going to honor you. All right? So to bring this good old video to a close, consecration keeps the covenant lightweight. What that means is you're not carrying the weight of the flesh within a consecrated covenant. So everything is just light. God says his burden is easy and his yoke is light. So that means when you're within the Spirit of the Lord, everything just flows. You don't got to force anything. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is just is what it is. And that's where you want to stay. Because as soon as you start doing too much, as soon as you start trying to be like the world and force things to happen, things are going to get real heavy. And that's when things become a burden and not favor. All right? He who finds a wife finds favor from the Lord. You want to keep it in a favorable place. Consecrated marriage is unshakable. Not because it's perfect, but because it is rooted in presence and not performance. So that is the end of day 5, which is consecration within the Kingdom Marriage Covenant. Stay tuned in for day 6 and day 7. Those are coming next. If you haven't gotten a chance to see number 1 through 4, just go ahead and check on my channel. It's literally on every single one of my social media pages. You just got to go find the one that fits your preference, and they're going to be there. I do recommend you guys watch all of them. They all have their own amounts of food inside of them. And if you get all of these different qualities inside of your spirit, man, before you actually get into your Kingdom Marriage Covenant, you will become the blueprint of how to do covenant correctly. I pray that bless somebody out there. Mighty name of Jesus.